Hey, I'm Giselle, and I think you've heard it before countless times, but I was very excited to play the Resident Evil 4 remake, especially after the two demos. I was sold. I pre-ordered the game and I was ready. Mind you, the last time I played this game was in 2005. I must have been 10 or 9 years old. I know, I shouldn't have been playing those games at that age, but you know what? It is what it is, and I loved it because there was nothing like it back in the day. So, wait, 18 years later, God, I'm old, jeez. 18 years later, we got a remake. The same year, we got the remake for Dead Space, which is crazy. What a time to be alive. This is the era of remakes, but hey, this is a remake I'll gladly take because God is it good. It has so much value, so much content, so much replayability, so much everything that God. This is the best. $80. I think I pre-ordered the whole thing at $80. I don't regret anything, and I can see myself playing this game even in a year, 2 years, because again, the content in this game is staggering. It is just mwah. So, without further ado, I'm going to tell you about my experience and why I think this is probably the best they've. I mean, the remake for Resident Evil 2 was amazing because the style was completely different. So yeah, they did an amazing job because they completely changed the system, the camera angles and all those things. But I still think this remake right here for Resident Evil 4 is amazing and probably the best one they've ever made. So, it is important to keep in mind that the remake by itself is amazing. If this is the first time you want to experience Resident Evil 4, you're going to have a blast. My experience was seamless. I'm talking no bugs, no crashes, no performance issue. And mind you, I was playing on the PlayStation 5 and I had nothing to come in my way and disturb and disrupt my playthroughs. Nothing. So I was eager to see where the game will take me, and I finished the game in 19 hours because I was trying to get, to complete all the merchants requests, which I did. And every single time the game kept throwing content back at me, I was like, yeah, give me more, please. That's why I said that the game has so much replayability. So I completed the game in 19 hours, and now I'm trying to maybe just practice some. I don't know. I was thinking maybe I will do some speedruns. Just for fun, not to set a new world record, just for fun because the game is fun. So I was trying to, have a playthrough in the professional difficulty, which is like harder than hardcore. And yeah, again, if this is the first time you experience this game, forget about the OG one. Even if it paved the way, I truly think you're going to feel very, very comfortable and you're going to have a lot of fun. I could sit here all day and praise this game, and I think I will never run out of things to say. But let's say that for the sake of this video, I'm going to single things out. Things which actually left an impact and things I did notice during my playthrough. The very first one is the fact that you can skip the cutscenes. Yes, you heard me right. In this day and age, you can skip cutscenes in a video game at launch. There is no need to pay for a season pass, no development, whatever bullshit they try to come up with to excuse the fact that they can't possibly implement the simplest feature in the game. No, you can skip the cutscenes right off the bat, and this is why I think those devs respect the players. They respect and value your time, and they want you to have the best possible experience, and being able to skip the cutscenes if you already watched them and just want to get back to the gameplay is amazing. I respect that. I love that, especially because all those other people nowadays, they just make games, they just want to make the experience longer than it has to be. No, Resident Evil 4 Remake doesn't need to rely on cheap tricks to extend the duration of the game. They are confident the game is going to be packed with so much fun, so much things to do that is, skipping the cutscenes is not going to change much, and I love that. I love that. I want more games to go that way. I don't want to watch a cutscene I already watched. I want to be able to skip it. If it, you know what? It is not even about the quality. It's not about how good or bad the game is. It's just about giving players more tools, more reasons to keep coming back to the game, because I am confident I will have many more playthroughs for this game because I just love the atmosphere, the gameplay mechanics, everything, and I know that I can get back into the action as fast as this. I just have to press triangle and I'm skipping everything. Again, I can't stress this enough, but every single game should have this feature. Give us more tools. We paid for it. Again, we paid for it. Next. If you played this game before, the original, back in 2005, you'll be able to spot all those different changes and tweaks they made in the remake. Essentially, the fact that you can now shoot and move at the same time, something which wasn't possible before, but now we can. And even swapping weapons is so much easier because you don't have to open your inventory every single time. You can you can assign those weapons to shortcuts up to, I think, eight things you can just swipe on the go, which is amazing. Again, it almost feels like sometimes you never take a break from gameplay because you're always trying, you always have access to everything right off the bat. So there is no, again, this game values your time. I can count how many times I have had to crawl or shimmy. Just cheap tricks people use to extend, again, the duration of the game unnecessarily. No, Resident Evil 4 doesn't need to rely on that. And I love when devs, you just make a game instead of trying to make a game. No, they actually made a good game. It doesn't waste your time. You don't sit in the menu. You can still, waste some time crafting, but crafting and resource managing is part of the experience. It's called survival horror. And even though I can't testify about the horror part because it's really hard to scare me nowadays, I feel like I've seen it all, so I'm never afraid. I'm not afraid. Yeah, I never get scared, but I can tell you that whenever you get to the castle part, you're going to do some serious resource management, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself, especially depending on the difficulty you play on, you're going to run out of bullets and you're going to bang your head against the wall. So yeah, you can definitely see the survival aspect of the game, which is there. It is so there. It will be hard not to not to see it. Okay, now I want to talk about difficulty levels, because in my experience, my first playthrough was on standard because I wanted to get the feel of the game, of the mechanics, before I then try my luck with the hardcore or professional playthrough. And for my experience, the standard difficulty is fine. There were some chapters where I never died, and some where I died to some random bullshit. But I didn't feel like this game was too challenging, and again, it comes down to how good you are with managing your resources and crafting the right things at the right time. So I don't think this game is difficult, but I can see it being difficult if you don't pay attention to things you should be paying attention to. And then let's talk about enemy diversity, because I found myself often thinking, wait, is that enemy part of the game? Was that enemy part of the game before, or was that a new one? Because everything felt so new. They have, you can fight dogs, knights, those crazy villagers. Oh my god, they made the villagers kind of crazy because now it feels like the AI is broken and they actually want to kill you relentlessly, and I love that. The village basically is almost, I'll say the village and the castle are the best parts for the remake. The island, the late game, not so much. But it's not that it's terrible, it just doesn't, it's not as compelling and good as the first two levels, in my opinion. And maybe, just maybe, it has to do with the interconnections between, the village areas or castle areas than it has to do with the island itself. I always felt like with the village, it was one big area, divided in smaller areas you can come back to in little chapters. Even the very first part of the village you can come back to it, right? Later in some chapters later, you never feel like you're locked into one area and can come back to it later, which is something I love. It's really good for exploration. And by the way, exploration, it is so seamless. No cutscenes, no nothing. You can explore the whole thing, even on boat area. When you're on your boat, there's no cutscene. The only moment you actually take a break is in between chapters. Whenever you complete a chapter or beat a boss, then you feel like, okay, I'm going to go and pee or grab something to eat, and you right back. That's why I was able to beat the game so far, because I never stood up. I never had to. The game just played itself, and I love it. Again, I love it. I love the new enemies. I had a great time in the castle and the village. The enemy, the fights were dynamic, the weapons, the gunplay, the shotgun, all the shotgun. Not many games can make shotguns as satisfying as Resident Evil. They perform just like they should. They knock people back and they knock people's head off easily. And then you have the Magnum, the pistols, the rifles, the submachine guns. Like, I could sit here all day and tell you about how amazing this remake is. The combat is fluid. You have a new parry system and your knives, because you have multiple knives you can use, but the combat knife is your knife, the knife you can upgrade. And when it comes to durability and damage, your knife is the most important tool you're going to need if you want to not have a difficult time in the game, because whenever you get grappled, being able to retaliate by pressing R2 to perform a counter attack is amazing. I love the knife, and they didn't overpower the knife. Oh wait, can I make a knife only run? I mean, should I? It's not a matter of can I, it's a matter of should I, because those playthroughs, they there is a mental state prerequisite. You need to leave your sanity behind if you want to get into the no damage, the knife only runs. But do I want to do it? Maybe if I have the time, because I have Shifu around the corner. And anyway, I can see myself playing this game over and over and over again. I have nothing negative to say about it. Actually, maybe one thing. I feel like Leon is a bit heavy. I mean, don't get me wrong. He moves smoothly. I just feel like sometimes he has trouble getting out of the way because of how tanky he is. But he shouldn't be that tanky. But either way, minor complaint. It doesn't impact the gameplay that much, but only in some boss fights. I feel like he could be running faster, but he's purposely not doing that. So anyway, you can expect more RE4 videos in the future, because I love making content about games I love and have fun with. I think this is the most important ingredient if you want to make content about the game. You need to love it, and I absolutely love it and definitely recommend it. This is the best 60. I mean, I think the game is 60. This is the best $60 I spent this year. So I have nothing but praise for the game, and if you are on the fence, don't be. Jump over the fence and experience this masterpiece for yourself, and then tell me what you think about it. I'm Jisoo, and I'm going to be playing this game again. I'll see you around, and hey, let me know what your experience with the game was. Don't forget to subscribe or drop a like, and I'll see you around. Peace.
A well-tuned weapon can make up for a lack of skill, friend.